Hey, welcome back everybody. I have teamed up with Aquastrong to try out their new boost pump. A little bit more about that here in a second. We're going to change out this one I have over here, which is relatively new. But first we're going to check pressures. I'm curious to see what the pressure output of this 3/4 horsepower is to theirs, because they say that their boost pump will have more pressure because it is all copper. It'll last longer because it is all copper. So let's start up the pool and let's check out pressures. Now, being that I just have the pool pump off, you shouldn't get much pressure out of this at all. Most of it is bypassed and sent through the standard pool return. So right now we're registering 0 on the gauge. Let's go ahead and turn on the boost pump, see what we get. All right, so the initial surge for the boost pump was right about 35 psi, and it's stabilized right about 30. Now, I know my indicator there, I didn't realize it was broken, but hey, we're getting about 30 to 35 psi, right in that range. So when we put out the new boost pump, we put that in, we'll see what we're getting out as far as pressure. Now obviously for starters, when we're doing this, you want to turn the pool equipment off, and we're going to go over to the breaker box and we're going to kill the pool equipment completely. That way we won't zap ourselves. Let's see what's in the box. So the main thing you want to remember about this pool pump is it is the same thing as the PB60, but they have relabeled it to a PBP 075 due to the copper windings and entire copper things. So what comes inside is you get the plastic hose to be able to reconnect it, your standard boost pump connections. You get 4 fittings to connect the hose to the pump and to the pool equipment. You get a new ground wire, some electrical tape, and some thread tape, along with a couple butt splices. Here's your manual. You get a 1-year extended warranty, so you get a total of 3 years. This product originally you get a 2-year warranty. My first one lasted like 18 years, so this is good because if it does go out in the first 3 years, you can get it replaced. So what it comes with in the bag is you get a wire harness and you get the pump. Now let's compare the size of this pump with the other one. Now remember, this is the same thing as a PB60, but it is labeled different. So if you do put in PBC60 or PB60, Aquastrong will come up. Let's compare sizes here. So here's the difference in size, right? The housing appears to be just a little bit bigger with the Aquastrong. The Venturi piece up here in front is obviously larger. You have your drain, you have your standard bolts to take this on and off so you can clean out the pump itself. In the back, you have your standard connections. You have your ground wire, and then you have underneath here where you would actually plug it in to get power. Now this is the ability to do 110 or 220, so it does have both the abilities, and this is, of course, is your capacitor on top. Let's take the back plate off. All right, to take the back electrical plate off, you just remove one of the screws, and then this thing will slide over and lift out. See how they're channeled here? So you do have to take one completely out, but you just have to loosen up the other one. Not a big deal. This has a nice area in here. Some of them don't have a good area for you to actually do connections. This has the ability in here to put ring connectors in. The kit does not come with ring connectors, so you can also use your standard female connectors to splice in your wire here as well, and you have quite a bit of room in here. The last one I did, I believe this one doesn't have a lot of room in here to put the female type connector, so you have to put a ring connector on, which with that one wasn't included in the kit. This right here is just a cover plate. Normally this sticks out a little bit, so you can actually get a wrench on it to turn it. Not sure how you would actually get in there to do anything with that one. It is pretty far in, so you probably have to stick a pry bar or something or wedge in there in order to take off the impeller up front. This is just a cover. We're going to start out by disconnecting the old pump. We're going to take the fitting loose here and the fitting loose here, here, and here, and just slide this stuff out of the way. These connections should be pretty easy to take off. They should only be hand tight. You don't want to smoke these down. If you do have the possibility of cracking the fitting. They're just plastic. So you should be able to just slide this up. Knock this over. then bring it up and get it out of the way. You shouldn't get a lot of water. You should have suction on this end. This is your inflow. Sorry about that. You shouldn't get a lot of water out of here because you do have the loop up here to allow for pulsation of the pump. And this is your intake down here. Now we're going to take off the intake line. Now we should maybe have a little bit more water down here when we take this off. But again, these shouldn't be too tight because, like I said, they are just hand tight. So now our pump is disconnected from the system. Now most of your boost pumps nowadays come with this new flex hose kit. This one does. It comes, like I showed you earlier, it comes with the 4 fittings. It comes with the hose, which you'll have to cut and fit. We'll do the upper hose here, cut and fit. We'll leave this bottom one on here. A side note here, the fittings that were on here and the new fittings, the thread pitch does not match. So you cannot use the old fittings with the new pump fittings. Now, if you transfer over your old pump fittings, you can do that. I would suggest changing them out, and that way it won't void your warranty of the pump. Obviously, to take the old one out, you're going to take your plumber wrench and you're going to grab onto here and pull away from you. Now, make sure that when you use these, you're actually pushing on this end here. This end goes to that clamp, which makes it tighter as you push it. You can do it with one hand. So we're just going to take this one out and put a new one in. And now we got the old one out. We're going to put thread tape on this. I like to hold this thread tape onto my thumb here, my nub, and go away from myself like so, and thread it this way. If you go this way, we're going to go about 3 to 4 wraps, break it off. Now when I tighten it up, it'll make that thread tape even tighter and it won't slip. I've seen a lot of people do these and they do it wrong. And when they tighten it up, the thread tape sits there and spins the opposite direction and never actually provides any seal whatsoever. So we're going to tighten down as much as possible by hand here, and then we'll get our little wrench here and we'll go 1/2 turn more. And that should be enough. Now this piece will obviously go on the hose when we stick it on. Now we're going to disconnect the wiring off the old pump. I'm going to take this back plate off. Big old long screw, set it aside. We're going to disconnect the 2 wires here. We're going to take the ground off here. As you can see, I've already put an eyelet on that one. And then these 2 guys are your 110 going in. It does not make a difference which one goes where. The pump doesn't care. I think when you're doing 220 it might care. Next thing we'll do is we'll pull the wiring out. We may have to cut these off to get this thing loose. Not a big deal. We have the tools to fix it. All right, pull the wires through. Now we're going to take off our 90 here and set it aside. And then we'll take our grounding stud off here as well. Now, if your pump is years and years old, you may not be able to get this stuff out. At least this grounding stud, it might, you may have to cut it. So we'll move that out of the way, and then we'll swap out the pump. I'm going to use my old electrical wiring because there's nothing wrong with it, and I replaced it recently. So we're going to thread the 90 back in here. Now, like I said, theirs does come with the correct wiring for this. I'm going to show it to you. Stand by. This is what they send. Now, this is, again, this is an above ground pool pump. This wiring is probably rated for outside. I have a conduit to run it through. You should not run Romex or insulated wire through one of these conduits. So we're going to leave the original wiring in here. set this aside for now, but it does come with a little thready piece. It'll thread right in there. Got an O-ring on it, and then your wire relief right here on the back. If you're not familiar with what a wire relief is, as this thread nut tightens down on here, it will squeeze onto the wiring to give it a relief where it won't be pulling on the wires if you do pull on it. Next thing for us to do is to run the wiring through the 90. As they poke out the end here, we'll grab them with their needle nose pliers and pull them one through at a time. So we're going to feed at the same time. If you notice when I put those 3 wires in there, let's take them back out so I can show you here, maybe. See how they're at different lengths here? If we try and bunch them all up, they won't go around that 90, so we stick them in one at a time. And we feed them through at the same time as we're pulling the other wire through. We're just taking this guy and bending it out of the way. And once these two, we can straighten these 2 out, feed the ground in, right? And then we can take and pull all 3 of those out together so they're all even. So we want to make sure that we get enough extension of the wire through there. We'll close up this conduit. Excuse me. There, so now the wires are ran through, and all we have to do is connect them. Now, like I said, with this 110, it doesn't matter which one goes where. Let's get you a close-up of this. So like I showed you a minute ago, it does have the ability to put eyelets on here, or you can use the female connectors for the male here. I'm going to leave on here what I already have. There is room back here to do that, but I am going to tighten up these screws since I'm not going to use them. But if you're running out of wire and you have hardly any room, you can definitely use these. There's not a problem. So we're just tightening these down to get them out of the way. And that way they won't, say, vibrate loose in the future and cause an electrical issue. This particular pump comes from the factory wired for 230. You can see the selection right here. You have 110. You're just going to take your screwdriver, put it inside this opening here, and you're going to twist it to 110. That effectively rewires the pump to be 110, not 230. Make sure you adjust that if you need to. Then we're just going to put our connections on, and then we're going to stick our ground on here. Case ground. If you don't have one of these ratcheting screwdrivers, they are the bomb. I'll put a link below for all this stuff I used today. If you got any comments or complaints or questions, ask below and I'll do what I can to answer them. Alright, now everything that is wired up, the wires are out of the way, we're going to put the cover plate back on here. Which again, like I showed you, it just slides right in like so. And then this one threads into the case. And this is the grounding stud location. I'm going to take this one off and set it aside and use the copper one I have with their new screw here. There you go. Now everything is grounded like it's supposed to be. Now back to the plumbing itself. We're going to take our thread tape again and we're going to add the other 2 or 3. I've already done this one. The other 3 fittings here. So again, away from you and around. 3 to 4 wraps. Make sure you read the instructions. Some companies don't want you to use the thread tape. This one does. See how happy he is? Tighten those up by hand. And then give it a half turn or so. We're going to leak check all this after we install it as well anyway, so this one is threaded all the way in, so I may take that back out and add more tape to it. Alright, so now we're going to hook up this straight pipe here. We're just going to slide this in. You can put some magic lube on this to help it go in easier. Being a brand new hose, it typically does not have a hard time going in. Do not use thread tape on this end. The fitting is a a barb fitting, so when this thing tightens up, it actually squeezes down on the barbs to seal it off. And again, this is just hand tight. Okay, let's cut the hose. So I've cut a piece of their hose approximately 30 inches, gave it a bend. It already is pretty much bent. We're going to slide our fitting over each end here. Make sure your fittings are on here. We're going to insert it into the pump first. And like I said, you can put a little magic lube on here. Being new hose, it should slide on pretty easily. Start that one, and then we'll put this guy on too. Remember, if you have a 90 like I do, make sure you support it so it doesn't crack. And then tighten up your fittings, or your nuts. Alright, now we got to turn power on and see if it sparks. Let's start by turning the breaker back on. Then we have to wait for that guy to recognize us. So it'll be a moment. Alright, so we're going to start the pool pump up. They say the booster pump decibels is about 56. My pool pump is louder. So you probably won't hear that running. And if it blows up, we got to redo it. Alright, the pump is running. Alright, I've got the issue all sorted out now. I had the 110 back here. I had it selected for 110. And it should have been on the 230. So I selected that. I misspoke earlier saying it was 110. I also had a leak. I think I fixed that. Let's turn the boost pump on and look at the pressures. Incredibly quiet. I don't see any leaks. It's still running. So when I had it set for 110, it run for about 8 seconds and it would shut off. Okay. Maybe that'll tell you if yours is doing that, you got it selected wrong. Let's look at the pressure. You see the pool cleaner running around the bottom of the pool here? So we're running right about the same, right about 35 to 38 psi. These are the tools you need: a flat blade screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, a pair of plumber pliers, and a pair of needle nose if required. And then if you need to crimp the ends on there, you can use these type of Histronica wire strippers and crimpers over here. So appreciate you all watching. Like, subscribe below, and check out the description below for all the tooling we used. And this pump, it is less expensive than most of the others out there. Again, it's the PBP 075 by Aquastrong. Full copper, so it's supposed to last even longer. Y'all take care.